YouTube. So today I am going to take you through very quickly how I made my Eyeless Jack mask. Do excuse my sniffles, I am full of cold again. So I started off with a basic papier-mâché mask, and I wanted the eyes to be slightly bigger, so what I'm doing here is marking them out, trying to keep them as even as possible. You don't need to worry too much if you make a mistake drawing it out, because you are going to paint over the top of this later. But do try and keep them as easy as possible, equal as possible. Keep a variety of cutting implements available, because I do struggle a little bit with this. I have to use a craft knife, a Stanley knife, and a pair of scissors to cut these eyes out. Obviously, the difficulty will vary dependent upon the mask that you have. This is a full style papier-mâché mask. It's quite thick, as you can see just there. I keep getting my hand in the way. Sorry, I speed this up quite a bit here. I do apologise. I am experimenting with how to do this kind of thing. I'm not very good at it. I can't find an easy setup, so I might look that up a bit more. But excuse me, dude. I am absolutely full of cold, so I apologise. But I wanted to get this done, seeing as it is Halloween tomorrow, and I will do a lot of videos explaining what I've done over this month and all sorts of stuff like that, because, you know. But yeah, if you are a kid, please get help from your parents, and be a lot more careful than I was with this. Throughout this entire piece, you're probably going to need some parental help, at least if you do the mask the way I do the mask, because I do use some materials that possibly other people don't use. I wanted to give the mask a heavier feel, but we'll go into that in a minute or two. So once you've got your holes, you want to cover them with masking tape around the outside, just to give it a bit of a cleaner edge. This is out of focus, so I apologise. What you want to do is get some simple paper. Newspaper will do, tissue paper will do. I used copier paper. Get some watered down PVA glue. You're basically going to, I start using the masking tape to flesh out the nose and over the mouth, because Jack's mask doesn't actually have a mouthpiece. I did not realise that I had made this so badly. Please bear with me. I have never done a craft video like this before, and I can't see what I'm doing because it's on my phone. I think I do become aware very soon that that's what I'm doing, so yeah. So first things first, you want to mask out your features to smooth them out a bit. Obviously, if you just want to paint the mask blue and do the eyes, you can do. That's perfectly acceptable just as well. I really didn't want to do that. I wanted a more flatter featured mask with the very prominent nose that is featured in the original artwork, even if it is fake. And then once you've got your design, your face mapped out as much as you want to start papier-mâchéing over the top. From here, you want to get it, take a look at it, and once it's dried, and cut out around where you want the mask to go. Now, I ended up doing a lot of shaping on this, not just cutting out the little bits of extra over the top, because it turned out that the mask that I'm using, the bottom, for some weird reason, from the jaw, just under your ears down through your jaw, is quite rounded on this mask, and I didn't like how chubby it made the bottom of my face look. As you can see here, I'm going to cut it a bit more round there, and that's exactly what I do, just a little bit at a time. You want to keep taking it off and measuring it on your face. Now, from this point on, you may want to get parental supervision if you're a young kid doing this, and please, I do recommend that you have some latex gloves on hand to do this as well. I did not, basically the craftiness overtook me, and it was one of those, I need to do this now. It was a mistake. I should have used latex gloves, so please, for the love of God, use your latex gloves. So basically this is polyfiller, chalk polyfiller that I am smoothing out on the mask to get rid of the lines of the papier-mâché, and to also give the mask some like creases and dimples and kind of like stuff. You then want to actually sandpaper it, which I didn't record here because that was probably very boring. And once that's done, you can start painting. Now, I had some old ultramarine blue acrylic paint, and I used that. I did several layers. It will take several layers so that you get a smooth colour and you can't quite see the brush strokes. I used an entire tube of a little tube. It wasn't a big tube, it was a little one. You can see it just there, it's about the size of my hand, but I did use the entirety of that on this mask, just so that I had a really nice dark deep colour, and it does dry darker as well, so bear that in mind. There is a cat going psycho in the background. But yeah, bear in mind that the colour will be different to the colour that it is when it comes out of the mask, okay? So with your mask now painted and dry, what you want to do in my badly videoed bit is get hold of some black paint and start. I tried to do the whole watered down black paint and dribble it down. It didn't quite work, so you are going to want to paint it down on the mask to make it look like the mask is crying. There you go, you see I did try it. And then I realised that I'm completely out of shot, so I apologise if this is not good. This is the first time I've done anything like this, so or recently that I've done anything like this, so I know this is a learning experience, and learning experiences are always useful. And another two bits that I don't show on here, I do show how to attach the strings on the mask, but I don't show how to attach the black pieces of fabric behind the eye so you can't see. I actually used an old pair of socks that had torn and a hole in them, so I cut them up and I used hot glue to just stick it behind the eye so you can't see the hot glue, but also so it just gives a black kind of look to it. Yeah, so get some string, or in the end I did use elastic in the end, and use a hot glue gun to just stick it down. If you do use string, be sure to do 2 coats, and don't do what I'm doing and accidentally touching it. I am using a cool heat gun here, and I still managed to burn my fingers, so please, please, please be careful. I do get my hair in the way quite a bit because I was standing up because I was like very frustrated and hyperactive at the time, so yeah, so that is basically how to create your Eyeless Jack mask. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.